Hiya, it's Hannah, the Artisan Duck. I'm back with another bead weaving project, and I thought because Christmas is coming I would show you how to make this beaded snowflake. It's not as complicated as it looks. I've zoomed in a bit so you can see the beads. I've put them on this blue background because otherwise they just disappear. So I'm using these kite beads, which are like an elongated diamond shape at one end and then like a little triangle, and they've got 2 holes. You can see that, 2 holes there. We've also got 3mm fire polish glass faceted beads, which again you can hardly see, but they're these little shiny beads. And I've got size 11 silver lined clear seed beads, so they've got like a silver core to them, if you can see them. The light just keeps bouncing off everything. So there's the silver lined seed beads. I've also got a arm span length of beading thread, and I use this white or frost Wildfire. Right, we're going to start by picking up the kite beads and we're going to alternate them with the faceted beads. So we're going to do 6 of each. And we're going to use the long end, so this end, if it will focus, of the kite bead. So there's one. Like I say, you just alternate the whole way around, and then you go back to your kite, and then back to your faceted, back to your kite, back to your faceted, until we've got 6 on. I've got 3 so far. So another kite, another faceted bead. That makes 4. This is 5. And this is 6. See that? So 6 of each, and I finished on a faceted bead because I started on the kite bead, and you want the faceted bead between the kites. So I'm just going to tie a very basic knot, leaving a good tail thread so that I've got something to sew in at the end. I'm aware that there's these heavy shadows, but I can't seem to get the lighting right today. So I'm going to leave a long thread which I can weave in at the end. So just a super basic knot, just to help hold it in place. Right, so there's the circle, and I've just tied a very, very basic knot just to keep it all together. My thread is exiting out of this faceted bead, so I'm going to take it through and into this diamond and back out into the next faceted along, partly just because I want to move away from the knot, and we need to be working out of the faceted bead. From here we're going to pick up 3 of these silver lined seed beads. 2, 3, and we're going to take the needle and we're going to go in to the next faceted bead. And just the faceted bead. We're not going to take it into the diamond, it's just going into the faceted bead like that. And the 3 little seed beads will sit forming like a little hill, you see, over the top of the diamond bead. So we'll do that again all the way around. I'll be back in a minute once I've done that to show you. There we go. Each of the kite beads has got these 3 seed bead little hills over the top of it, and we're exiting out of the fire polish bead. So we're going to take the needle and we're going to go up through just 2, if I can coordinate it whilst I'm looking through the camera, just 2 of the seed beads. So we're exiting out the middle seed bead, just like that. that. And we're going to pick up just one of the faceted fire polish like that, and we're going to take it into the middle seed bead on the next little hill round. It'll become a little clearer in a minute what's going to happen, what we're doing. So you see, it's just sitting between. It's really hard with these beads because the light just wants to bounce off them the whole time. And we're going to do it again. So we're going to pick up another 3mm and try and get it to focus, and in to the middle seed bead on the next one around. I'll be back in a minute once I've done it all the way around. Right, I'm back. There it is, all the way around, and you've got this lovely shiny centre to your snowflake, and we're currently exiting out of one of the seed beads. So all we need to do now is make our way back down to the kite beads. So we're going to follow the bead path that we've already made, just so there's no extra threads sticking out, through the faceted bead and through the lower hole on the kite bead. Right, and now we're going to step up to the top, just up here, up to the top hole, and pull through. I'm just going to turn it over because I find it easier to work this way for a second. Right, so we're going to pick up one of the faceted beads, then one of these kite beads, but we're going to use the hole. You can see the second hole, the lower one down. And we're going to pick up another faceted bead, and then we're just going to take the needle like so into the next kite bead along and pull it through and tighten like that. So it's going to look like this. Once you've done that, I'm going to do that all the way around, and I'll be back in a minute to show you what it looks like. There we go, it's starting to look more like a snowflake now. You can see my thread exiting out of this sort of lower kite bead. We want to exit out of this lower hole on this kite bead. So I'm just going to take my needle and sew through that fire polish and the lower hole on the kite. My hand's getting tangled in my thread. Just like that. And then we're going to pick up 3 of the seed beads. Like that. I'm going to take it into the fire polish. It's down here, if you can see, between the 2 kite beads. So it's the fire polish that we added on the very first loop of beading that we did. So we take it down there, through, like that. And you see? And then we're going to take the needle back up through just 2 of these seed beads. Like this. And then we're going to pick up one more size 11. And we're going to take the needle, so I've picked up one more size 11. We're going to take it through the same kite bead, but on the opposite side. So it's going to force that other bead to sit on the other side of the kite bead. You see? So it just starts to add that little snowflake type detail. From here, we're going to go through the faceted bead. This is by far the most fiddly part of the whole snowflake. We're going to pick up 3 of the size 11s. Just like that. And we're going to miss out this bead and we're going to stitch straight into the faceted bead, straight into the kite bead, and pull it through. And it's going to force the seed beads to sit like a little hat on top of the kite, and you've got all the nice detail in there. So from here we're going to start again, and I'll do it one more time just to go through it with you. So I've picked up 3 more seed beads, and we're going to stitch into the fire polish just down here that we added in the very first set of beading. We're going to loop through. We're going to go back up just 2 of the beads, like so. And at this point you need to keep checking your tension as you're doing it, so just pull it and tighten the threads, and it'll start to sit as it should do as you go round. And pick up 1 more seed bead and into the same kite but from the opposite direction, and pull through. Like so. Into the fire polish. Pick up 3 seed beads, like so, and into the fire polish on the opposite side. And you just carry on all the way around in this fashion until all of those details have been added, but you can see how it starts to build up and form that snowflake pattern. Right, I shall go off and do all the rest of it just so you don't have to sit and watch me, and I'll be back in a minute when it's all done. There we go, I've done that, so all the details added, and I'm exiting out the lower hole on that kite bead there. So all I'm going to do from here is take the needle through the top hole, like so, and we're going to pick up 1 size 11, like that, 1 3mm and another size 11, just like that. And we're going to take the needle into the middle of the little hat section that goes over this kite bead, so the middle size 11, take it down and through so it pulls like that. And so you might need to just keep tightening the beadwork as you go. And then you're going to pick up another size 11, another 3mm, another size 11, like that. And we're going to take the needle into the next kite along. And it's just going to add little finishing details to the snowflake, just like that, can you see? And we'll do that all the way around quite predictably. I'll be back in a minute once I've done all that to show you where we go from there. There we go, I've done that all the way around, and this is where my last section was added. So I'm just going to take the needle through this top row of beadwork again, because we need to start adding the this little top detail here. And really, the more you can go around the beadwork now on the outside, the more you reinforce it. The inside of the beading should never really come undone. It'll be any looseness on the outer beading which will start it unravelling if it was ever going to unravel. So I'm moving through like that, and I'm moving up to the kite bead, and I'm going to exit out of this kite bead like that. So from here you just pick up 3, can you see those? 3 of the fire polish beads, just like that, and I'm going to sew back into the same diamond kite bead. I keep calling them diamonds for some reason. Kite bead like that, but on the opposite side from where we exited from, and it'll just form this little loop over the top. So then you just stitch back through your beadwork again. I can't see what I'm doing, just like so. through to the kite, and then from there you just pick up another 3 and repeat that little loop all the way around. So I'll be back in a minute once I've done all that. There we go, I've added all that detail, and now this was the last section I added, but you can see it's quite loose because the stitching's quite new. So I'm going to move away from that section by you just take the needle through all the beading that you've already done. You don't need to create any new sort of bead paths or anything, just keep going through. Is this ever going to focus for me? I don't want to look like I'm about to stab you in the eye though, because I can't stand when I watch videos and they come up with a pencil really high or something and it's right in where you're looking on the camera. Right, and we're going to get to this cluster of beadwork up here. So we need to take the needle so it exits out this middle, if it will focus. So we're going to have it so it's exiting out of this bead here. So we're going to go through the kite, just the kite there like that. Be careful not to pick up any of the little seed beads around it. And we're going to sew up the first bead, and then we're going to sew into the top bead like that. I've turned it over just to make it easier for me to get to, but there you go, like that. What we're going to do now is add this little beaded loop, and all it is 5 seed beads with a faceted bead and then another 5 with a faceted, and it just goes round like that until, I mean, I added 7 of the faceted beads, but if you wanted a longer hanging loop you could just add another sort of section of 5 and another faceted, or another 2, however many you think. But I've got a little Christmas tree and this fits on absolutely fine. So from here you just pick up your 5 seed beads, and then you're faceted like that, like this, if it will focus, and then you just take it down and you keep doing that until you've added on your 7 faceted beads and you finished off with all the seed beads. So I'll be back in a minute to show you what I do from there. There we go, I've added on all my seed beads and faceted beads, and so I'm just going to take the needle when it focuses back through the faceted bead, but again on the other side, when you pull it tight it'll form that loop. Now because this is the bit that hangs from the tree, I would suggest you sew round this all over again before you tie the knot off. So you just literally take your needle, pick up every bead again and just go round, and it'll just help reinforce it. We're back in a minute. Right, I'm back. So now we're just at the point where we need to knot off the threads and cut them off, and then you can go hang your snowflake on your Christmas tree. So all we do, just go back down through the bead path that you've got. So I'm exiting out of this fire polish, so I need to go down through this fire polish here. I've just managed to sew around the loop rather than avoid it. Right, so there. And then because I don't want to create any new bead paths or thread paths, I'm going to go through the kite bead like so, and you can start knotting at this point. So all I do is I go across the threads like that, I pull through where you see the little loop, I go through there, pull, that will form a little knot, and then go back through, go through some of the extra beads, and it'll just pull the knot into that bigger bead. I do that as far around as I can, and sometimes I'll do sort of doubles of those loops. It just depends how it happens at the time. So this thread here, I would concentrate on the outer edges and knotting it sort of out on the outer levels, and then your tail thread, which is here, you do exactly the same, but I would tend to concentrate on the centre part. That way all of it's reinforced and you won't have to try and pass the needle through knots that might get in your way and make it difficult. Once you've done that, you snip off your thread and you're left with this little snowflake. I have done this as a beading tutorial on my blog with really clear photos, so if that's easier I will link that in the description below, so you can go check that out if you'd like to see those. And in the new year I am really hoping to have time to do more beading tutorials and polymer clay, because I work an awful lot with polymer clay. So if you want to keep up with what's going on, please like and subscribe. I'd be very, very grateful. Alright, thank you. Bye bye.